Mr. Leonard Wargers, I'm going to ask you please to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. He's one of our very special members. I need to tell you to start off by saying, you know, last month we didn't have coffee on time and people were upset because they need their coffee. And it was my fault, guys, don't blame the coffee shop. Apparently, when Phyllis Duff was running this, and she did it so splendidly, she always told the coffee shop when we weren't meeting on the first Monday. I did not know that, I did not do that, so they were not prepared for us. And notice, they brought them in early today. They do a nice service, and so don't be mad at the coffee shop. I'm the one who dropped the ball, so I just want you to know that.
Hey, you're forgiven.
Thank you. Just gotta keep them coming.
With us.
That's right, we gotta keep it coming, yes. Okay, Julia Schmidt has something to say about our lovely treats that we get.
Okay. Well, we kind of bantered this around and I made a few phone calls, and we kind of thought initially, let's just pass it off every week and have a new chairman. So I actually went ahead and wrote chairman on the top line of both of these things to fill out. However, oops, let me get my, because I'm going to forget names here. Nancy Gill, though, she came early today to help set up the coffee and nicely said, Nancy, you want to raise your hand back there? There's Nancy. Yeah. And she said, you know, I can't be there every time, but I will do it as much as I can, but I will need some backup. So we really appreciate Nancy being able to take that responsibility most of the time. But when I pass these out, there's still the chairman name is written there. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be chairman, but if you are willing to be a backup person for Nancy, then please put your name up in that line so we'll know that you are a backup person. Any line below that, we want you to sign in saying you're willing to bring treats for next time. Is that too confusing? The chairman line is only if you're interested in helping be a backup. The other lines are there as normal, just to say, yep, put me down, I will bring treats in March. That clear? Okay, and thanks again. Thanks, Nancy, for doing that.
Thank you very much. This is kind of an important part of our meeting. I mean, we kind of need to have food. You know, it goes with coffee really well. I have an announcement here. Many of you will remember Donna Kuhlman. Lovely, lovely lady. She was so helpful with this organization for many years. And she passed away a few weeks ago. And her husband, Don Kuhlman, who's been a member and is here, is announcing that there will be a memorial service for Donna at the First Presbyterian Church on Saturday, the 17th of February at 11 in the morning. And so I want y'all to know so you can go and pay your respects. She was just a lovely person, and she is definitely worthy of our respect and our affection. So I wanted to tell you about that. Those who would like to have just a minute or two, not the ones who are going to be meeting. Mark, you said that you would just wave and say hi.
Hi.
Okay, there he is. Okay. Is Gordy Houghton here? Okay. You want to say something very brief?
Yes. And actually, on my own behalf, I just want to say hello, but Alan Jones asked me to say good morning on his behalf. He has a work conflict and couldn't be here this morning, and he asked me to direct you to the News Gazette website this morning where there are candidate questionnaires and responses for the contested primary for sheriff. So on Alan's behalf, hello as well.
Thank you. Okay, Bill William.
Hello.
Okay, there he is. There he is. Joan Dykstra.
Hello.
Hello, happy to have you here. And the other people, since they're going to be quizzed, I am not going to call up because they're going to be up here for a while. Let me see. Why don't the two that are in competition for the nomination of the clerk come on up? That's Matt Grandoni and John Rector. Come on up. They're going to stand here. You've got your mic, and the sound will go out. So, come right on up. That's it. Right. Yes, it will. Right there. Okay. I'm asking them, I know you know them, we like them, they're nice people, but they're going to give you a very brief 3 minutes. If you get close to 4, I'm going to take the mic away from you. A reminder of why we think you're great and why we want to hear from you this morning. So each of you take your time and share the mic. 3 minutes.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Matt Grandoni. I'm the Director of Training for the Champaign County Clerk's Office. I've worked for current clerk Gordy Holton for the last 3.5 years. If you want to know why I'm great, ask my dad, who happens to be standing back there. He actually didn't get to talk, but he's now going to be our new precinct committeeman for Cunningham 10, taking over for Jan Bell. You've heard me talk every time I come up here. I talk about experience, because to me, that's what matters most. When we forget our experience and we stop electing people with experience, that's when government fails us. I think we can all agree that government has failed us time and time and time again. Whether it be on a national level, whether it be on a state level, which we all know, or whether it be on a local level. We have people there that don't care about the job at hand, the job that's next to your name on that ballot. That's what matters the most. I've been fortunate enough to work for a guy named Gordy Holton who's allowed me the autonomy to actually implement a vision. He trusted me after 90 days, after the first election I did, to say, this is now yours. The election day experience is yours to do with it what you see fit. Most bosses don't trust their employees that much. He's allowed me to say, this is what I think we should do. This is where I think we should go. I spent the last 3.5 years implementing that vision, but I'm not done. The only way we can keep going forward with this is to win this election. And that's why I'm running. Because there's unfinished business in the clerk's office, and I want to make sure I'm the one that keeps doing it. I love the people I work with. I love the people I work for. I love serving the voters of Champaign County, and I want to keep doing it for the next 30 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
It's not going to work.
Not what?
I don't think it's working.
Check.
Okay, you can use this one. Let me
So do
see.
you want the microphone or my voice?
I think his voice is good enough. It's clear.
If you can't hear it.
You can hear that, but it's not very loud.
Not to
There you go. That's what we need.
Test, check, test. Larry, the audio engineer. Good morning, I'm John Rector. Thank you ASRs for getting up this morning. Reminds me when I was in Rantoul a few weeks ago, it was 15 below and 20 people came out to have coffee with me, and it was it's very humbling. Thanks for all you do, appreciate it. You've been so kind to me the last few years when I've been on county board. My wife's not here, she's my #1 fan, she's been amazing. My #2 fan is Mr. Mark Sheldon, Recorder of Deeds. He's a political genius, and he's going to help me win this. So excited. My wife Kathy and I reside in Champaign. I've lived and worked here my whole life. I've been blessed with a wonderful family and great work opportunities. I have 3 sons that will soon all 3 be living in Champaign. My oldest Jason is a Champaign firefighter. My youngest Brian is a real estate appraiser. My middle son, Colin, has spent the last 7 years in the military, serving in Iraq and Afghanistan, and will be returning to Champaign in mid-2018. My parents have been part of this community their entire lives. My father passed away a few years ago at the age of 96, and my mother just celebrated her 95th birthday. After serving in the military, my father, Leo, married my mother, and they stayed in Champaign where they raised their 3 sons. I'm the youngest. My middle brother, Carl, passed away from leukemia when I was 10 years old. My mother was one of the local founders of Compassionate Friends in Champaign, which was a group to help others deal with the unspeakable grief of losing a child. The need to help others was always front and center in my household, and that's what's led me down the path of community service and public service. I was raised to count my blessings and then extend them to others. I've also been taught that hard work was the key to success. I've acted as a volunteer in numerous organizations, often serving in leadership roles. I served 20 years on the Champaign County Sheriff's Merit Commission, and I've served on the county board for 2 years. One of my passions is running. I've completed 8 marathons in the last 4 years, and I often find time to run for charity. I'm a graduate of EIU, I have a BS and an MBA.
Thank you very much, John. I appreciate it. Ed, I just remembered. I didn't write your name down. I'll catch you after, okay? Because he's got something to tell us. All right, I am going to be asking the candidates each to respond to the same question. And because the first one who will get the question, same one, then the other one will get to think about what he wants to say. So the first one gets it, then the next time the first one is the other guy. So this one would be for you, John. So you want to give him the mic?
You figured me first, man.
Yeah, it's okay. The office that you're planning to go into, what challenges, what possible changes do you think you might want to make within that office? Please tell us what your thoughts are.
Yeah, first of all, there's an amazing staff there. So immediately, there's going to be 0 changes. Do I have some technological ideas and some creative things? We're going to share that here later this week. But there's an amazing staff there. So what I bring is leadership and past commitment to the Republican Party. So I know there's a great team there, and I'm just going to go in, support them with leadership through county board, and we'll make some changes, but only after we go in. It's running very well now.
Okay. Matt, what's your answer to that question? Any challenges, any changes that you see ahead?
The biggest challenge going forward is the aging of our election equipment. Most of our equipment is purchased in 2006, 2007, 2008 with federal HAVA funds. Those funds aren't still available for us to purchase new equipment. So that equipment's now getting 10, 11 years old. To purchase a brand new tabulator for just one of our polling places is about $6,000. We run 96 polling places on election day. That's a bill of about $500,000. Does anybody know if the county has the money for that equipment? No. You might have heard about it lately in the budget. So that's the biggest challenge we're going to face. In terms of changes, we do run a great office, but there's still more we can do. We spend a lot of time scanning and updating your signatures using paper after each election. For just a little bit of extra money, we can buy those digital signature scan pads that you sign when you sign your credit card receipt, attach that to all of our polling place laptops, and automatically update your signatures as you guys are voting. That's going to make sure we spend less time creating paper books, scanning individual signatures afterwards. The last thing is making sure that we can provide additional service to everybody in the county. Brookins is not accessible to most people that live in this county. It's not accessible to our township officials that need help filing their levies and extensions. What we want to do is kind of a roving office hours set up throughout the county for not only helping our township officials get additional information to file in their paperwork, but also make sure we can provide vital records to other folks within the county as well. We've got the framework set up in the office to do it without it costing us any additional dollars. So we want to provide a service to everybody in the county.
Thank you. Okay. Now you get the first question. How do you plan to differentiate yourself from your inevitable Democratic opponent in the election?
My opponent in the Democratic side of things thinks that we don't make voting easy enough. You can start voting in our office on Thursday. You got 40 days. You can request a ballot 90 days in advance of an election from the comfort of your computer or from your telephone. Tell me how we're not making it easy enough. You're going to hear words like voting suppression, not registering people. We have more registered voters in Champaign County than we've ever had. Tell me how we're not making it easy enough. The way we're going to differentiate ourselves is we're going to make it fair for everybody. Not just people that live inside the city, not just people that live on campus. We're going to make it fair. How do we make it fair? Well, in addition, because we're required to have an early voting location on campus, we also have one in Tolona. We also have one in St. Joe. We also have one in Mahomet, Rantoul, West Champaign. We're going to make sure we provide equal access to everybody. You're going to hear our opponents talk about, well, we're not doing enough for this group, we're not doing enough for this group. We should do enough for every single group. And let the votes fall where they will on election day.
John, how do
Thank
you
you.
plan to differentiate yourself?
Thank you. Yeah, there's a big difference between John Rector and Aaron Ammons, I promise you that. I was in here a couple weeks ago, Aaron had his event, and it's just like, wow, I don't think I've ever been the only Republican in a room with Democrats. It's just like I kind of hid in the back, but they saw me. Aaron and his wife have a political machine, and I've had a lot of people tell me, it's like, John, when you win this, you can beat Aaron Ammons, your name recognition's great, people all around the county know you, but it's like, we know what he has done and what his wife has done, and they have access to a lot of money, and they have access to a lot of boots on the ground. So they're going to be a very, very tough opponent. Again, I think the clerk's office has done a great job with elections. Elections and registrations are just one of the 4 duties in the county clerk's office. They've done a fine job. They make it easy for people to vote early. You go online, you call the office, you click, they send you the ballot. Everything is in great shape. So, in my opinion, it's just, would I win? And I say that because I believe I'm going to win. It's just John Rector against Aaron Ammons for the whole time, and it's going to be a fight.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, now you get the first question this time, John. I know both of you will have places that you're going to be going, probably far too many to list and to name. But give us an idea, if people want to come out and hear you again before the primary, what kinds of ground are you covering? Where might you be a big meeting that people might be able to get to and want to go to? Give us just ballpark figures. What do you think?
Ballpark figures on.
On when people could come and hear you speak fully again.
Yeah. So tomorrow morning, Mahomet GOP breakfast, 7 a.m. I'm the speaker there. On Saturday, all the Republican candidates were up at Fisher at the ice cream parlor, Lenny's? Gifford. I get back all over. Gifford. The next Saturday, I'm in Ogden, and then the next Saturday, I'm in Fisher, and I can make those dates and times available.
Okay.
So I have things the next 4 Saturdays. We've been in Ogden, we've been in Mahomet, Gifford, Royal. Anybody been to Freeman's and Royal? My cousins had an event for me a week ago Thursday. So anyway,
Okay.
Lots more opportunities.
Yeah, I know there are many people that couldn't make it this morning because of the weather, and they're going to be looking. This is all going to be publicized, right?
Yeah, I can get you the dates if you want to distribute them, or however. I'll work with Mark on getting the dates. We have things the next 4 Saturdays. This Saturday, Gifford is for all the Republican candidates.
Okay. Same thing.
Same thing, Mahomet breakfast tomorrow. You'll catch me at some of the town halls that actually Gory is hosting to explain to folks what the new county executive is as well, that the Farm Bureau is hosting. There'll be one at Riggs on the 16th of Urbana. We'll have a few more in Mahomet, St. Joe, Tolono, and Fisher as well. We'll get the dates. The dates will be on the website. The other place you can hear me talk is sign up to be an election judge. We still need a couple more election judges for this March election. We've got a lot of folks that are still in Florida, a lot of folks that will be gone for spring break. Sign up for a class. You can hear me talk for 4 hours. Trust me, it's lots of fun.
Are there any subjects, any particular subjects that would be generally applicable to both of these gentlemen that someone would like to have them expound on? Because I didn't hear much. Yes, sir.
What will you guys do to expand outreach to student voters?
Are you going to expanding outreach to student voters? I thought we were doing a pretty good job already. Go ahead.
I tend to think we do a pretty good job of that as well. In addition to the polling place we're required to have at the union, we obviously work with the Illinois student government to make sure that they're publicizing that as much as they can to the students. We mail out to all people that have registered since the last time they're registered. If this is the first election they're voting in since the last time they've registered, we let them know, not just on campus, but everywhere, what are your options in terms of voting. We send them a little mailer that says 3 ways to vote. Here are your options. Vote by mail, vote on election day, vote in one of our off-site locations. So it's not just for students that we need to reach out for. We need to reach out for everybody. Let them know these are your options. In November 16, we had about 42% of our people vote early. We want to increase that number. Everybody that votes early saves us money, saves us time, saves us energy on election day.
John?
Thanks. Yeah, state of Oregon, you can't even go in and vote anymore. It's all vote by mail. So, maybe one day that'll happen. Anyway, been thinking a lot about this and haven't publicly announced it, but I think this is the right opportunity. But again, the students on campus have a right to vote, but we put together a program, and there'll be more details later, to help encourage those students to vote. But maybe they should vote in their home county. We'll support them. Thank you. We will support them here. We're going to give them the access. We have the polling places on campus. But we put together a program, and I'll have more details on that later this week, on how to help them vote in their county. I mean, we all know, and I know I'm going to cut off on time, but it's just like, in the non-presidential elections, are there things here they really care about in increasing taxes and things like that? We want people to vote. I want people to vote. I voted in every election since '86. But we have a program that we'll announce later this week to assist the students so they can vote in their home county and encourage them to vote there. And if they're committed here, that's fine. But some of these students, they need to vote back at home, and we're going to assist them with that.
Who was it that we had speaking a while back, refresh my memory, who said that there's no way that we can judge when the students vote? They very often vote in Chicago and vote here. They're often voting twice. There was somebody we had. You remember that, Sherry? I do, vividly, because he said there's no way we can track it.
We'll have programs for that
Yes, sir.
too.
Yes, sir.
I'm the county clerk. We check that every election. And when we find possible instances of double voting, we refer them to the federal authorities and to the state's attorney's office.
Bless you. The guy we had speaking said it wasn't being done.
We check that every election. And
Thank you.
Most election jurisdictions in the state of Illinois do. We have access to records in Cook County and the city of Chicago, and we can see
Terrific.
if somebody voted in both.
Terrific. Yes, sir. You had a question?
Yeah, I have a question. So both of you guys seem not encouraged to go after student voters, but what about encouraging the U of I to actually meet the state and federal laws to inform student voters when they're registering of the primary general election?
Oh, yeah.
So just even meeting the basic of when you're registering to let them know this is when our primary is, this is when the general is, and if you do vote in our state, you cannot vote within your own state, just basic rules.
Right, and then you bring up the point too, and that's what Mr. Ammons brought up. I haven't had the time to do more research on this. Been busy with a lot of crazy things, but apparently, and Mark or Gordy might know, but the U of I has the requirement to inform those students. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, inform the students that all about that, and apparently they have been doing it. Is
They
that
have
what you
not
guys
been
have
meeting
found
a
out?
basic requirement of
There's
just
a-
informing them when they're registering to vote.
There's an Illinois election law that says that they are required to inform students at the point of class registration, whether or not they register by mail or in person, they're supposed to receive voter registration information.
Yeah. So I would definitely work with campus and the U of I on that to give. Again, I want everybody to vote. I want to make it best for them on it, whether they vote in Champaign County or their home county. I'm all about getting you young guys and gals and everybody out to vote. That's what it's about.
And this is something we've actually struggled with in the office from time to time in terms of we've tried to work with the director of student living to kind of make sure that the requirements are met, and for whatever reason it just hasn't been the follow through that we've hoped for. We tried, I think in November 16, she actually worked with them to send out an email to everybody letting them know the options for early voting, because we didn't want 10,000 people voting on election day in one location. That's a bad service. If you walk into Walmart and there's 10,000 people in line and they don't open another checkout register, you would say that that's bad service. For us, that's bad service in the office. So it's something we've constantly worked with, and hopefully it's something that we can fix going forward.
Thank you both very much. Each of you take about 2 to 3 more minutes to tell us why you're wonderful. Go ahead, Matt, you start.
Why I'm wonderful, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Look, I love what I do. I love the job I have now. I love the office. I love serving voters. I love getting up here and talking to people that may not always know what their options are. may not know the facts about what actually happens when elections occur. You guys know it. We see a lot of things on the news. The headline doesn't always match up with what the actual story is. And letting people know this is what the actual story is. I want to keep doing that work. The only way to keep doing that work is to win 2 elections. One on March 20th and one in November. That's my one job and one job only going forward, is to win 2 elections. And I plan on doing that. Thank you.
John?
I've led many organizations. My Rotary Club, which I've been a member of for 30 years, duck races for the Boys and Girls Club, fundraiser for March of Dimes, events for St. Jude's. I've led the Champaign County Sheriff's Merit Commission. The key to success in this position is getting the best out of the experienced people that are already there. Katie Blakeman, Mark Sheldon, Gordy Holton, John Farney, none of those people had experience in that office before they served there. I bring leadership. Twice Republicans had a chance to pick someone in the office and pick someone outside of the office. We've been here before, and the party picked leadership over experience in the office. Last weekend I worked with See You at Home and See You's Got Talent. I didn't just start working for them. I participated in See You at Home's one winter night for the last 5 years where I slept out in a box. Same thing with See You's Got Talent. I've spent literally hours and hours raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for groups in this community. But more importantly, I promise to engage our community, especially the young people, in our election process. For decades, almost 4 decades, I've worked in this town to make it a better place. I've led organizations. I know what it's like to lead a team. I know what it's like to empower a team. And if I'm elected county clerk, I will do that. Thank you very much.
Ed, come on up here. I neglected you.